Okay, so today we're going to cover the 5-number summary. And let's talk about what that really is. So for our 5-number summary, those 5 numbers include the min, Q1 for the first quartile, our median, Q3 for the third quartile, and our max. Alright, so with this, y'all can probably figure out 3 of these numbers pretty easily, right? We've talked about them a little bit, but let's go ahead and arrange these numbers from least to greatest to get these figured out. So the first number we have here looks to be a 0. We have a 3, we have a 7, we have a 10, and we have an 11, a 12, and we have an 18. So that should give us our 7 numbers there. And with that, it makes it pretty easy to find our median, as well as our min and our max. So our min, of course, is going to be 0. So we have our min. And our max, of course, is going to be 18. Our median, in this case, since we have 7 numbers, will be our 4th number. So our 4th number is 10. So that is our median. So the only other 2 numbers we need to figure out is our first quartile, our Q1, and our Q3. Anyway, that looks like a Q instead of the O. There we go. So since it's odd, 7 values we have here. In our lower quartile, we have 3. In our upper quartile, we have 3 numbers as well. Well, you can find a middle value pretty easily with that, right? Between these 3, the number 3 actually comes out to be our Q1. And this upper, number 12, becomes our Q3. So now, the only thing you need to understand is if you have like an even set of numbers. If we were to throw in, let's say we went over here and we had an even set of numbers. So we had 0, 3, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 18. Well, if we had 8 numbers then, on this setup, to find the median values of 10 and 11, and we would need to add them together and divide by 2 to find our median. In which case, that would give us 21 over 2. We'll just leave it at that right now. And then to find our Q1, we would need to take the second and the third, because if you were to split this in the middle, all right, there's 4 numbers in the lower half and there's 4 numbers in the upper half. So we would need to get the average between those 2 numbers. So we would get 5. Okay, and then for the upper, we would get 12 plus 13, so we would get 25 divided by 2. So we should get, what would that be, 12.5? All right. So then of course you guys can be able to determine your min, and your max. But the big thing there to understand is this would then be your Q1, this would be your Q3, and this would be your median. That's the big difference between the odd and the even. You got to get an average of those two numbers if it's an even number or even set of numbers. And if it's odd, it makes it a little bit easier to be able to calculate and figure out what those numbers are without doing any extra calculations. All right. All right, so now with that, let's go ahead and find the mean. So our mean is notated by x bar, in which case our mean is adding up these values and dividing by the total. So we have 7, 18, 12, plus 0, 11, plus 3, plus 10. All that is divided by 7. So, enter it in the calculator. Just so I can see those numbers a little bit better. And say we've got 7, 18, 12, 0, 11, 3 plus 10. And then on the bottom, we should have 7. Control Enter. So we should get 8.71. We'll go with 8.71. So 8.71 would be our mean. Now, let's look at and determine our standard deviation. Since we have our mean value now, we need to do that lovely calculation in which case the standard deviation, which is notated by lowercase sigma, by taking the square root of a lot of numbers. So you can shorthand notation on this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So since we got to take the sum of the values minus the mean squared and then divide it by n minus 1, we're going to simply take this and say we got 7 minus 8.71 squared plus 18 minus 8.71 squared plus, and then you can just do a plus sign and do a dot, 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 plus, and let's do that last figure. So let's go with 10 minus 8.71 squared. All this is over 7 minus 1. Okay? Because remember, this value on the bottom here is n minus 1, and up top here, that's your sigma, your x initial minus your x bar, your mean, all squared. It's the sum of all those values in there. All right, so on the calculator we can do that, but I'm going to make this a little bit easier on the calculator and just have it do all the calculations for us, verify and check our answers. So with that, I'm going to go to the home spreadsheet. And again, we'll name this college. Oh, let's do this. So the keyboard is being touchy today, so I'll just use this. All right. We're going to say we got 7, 18, 12, 0, 11, 3, and 10. 11, 3, and 10. Okay. Alright, so then when you have those values, we have 7, as you can see right there. And then number 7 is where 10 is. So then let's go to menu 4, 1, 1. So menu 4, 1, 1. And our list value that we want to use is our college. And all the rest of this can stay the same. The results just will be in the C column. Okay. And there we go. Let's scroll to the top. So our X bar, our mean that we were looking at, we calculated was 8.71, which is what they got. And the standard deviation would come out to 5.99 for those calculations. So the standard deviation, erase this real quick. So a little space over here. All right. So this was, what was it, 5.99? Okay. So 5.99. Okay, and as you can see, when you go to the calculator, you're able to verify your calculations just by putting those values in here and doing it this way. Now, yes, most of the time they're not going to ask you to show how you found these calculations all together, but you need to understand how it is done because it helps explain the changes in values later. If you understand how the equation is built and how those numbers are determined, then it'll help you understand why things change the way they do. So, however, though, I'm pretty sure on maybe a test or something in the future, maybe one day, I would ask for you to show how you calculate standard deviation or the mean. So make sure you understand how to do that. And with that, that is how to develop the 5-number summary, and I'll see y'all next time.